Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission is simple. We tear through the research, the data, and connect the dots you never saw coming.
And today, we are really plunging in deep.
We're exploring what we're calling biological debt. It's this idea, really, of when progress just completely outpaces our moral code.
We've brought together a fascinating stack of sources for you. I mean, everything from public opinion polls on gene editing to deep bioethics scholarship.
And even literary analysis of some pretty famous dystopian sci-fi.
And what they all seem to point to is that we need a completely new way of looking at this.
I totally agree. We have to move past seeing stories like Frankenstein or Brave New World as just, scary warnings.
That warning mode is outdated.
It is. We need to start treating these stories as actual data, crucial data about our collective moral limits.
Almost like a psychological stress test for society.
Exactly.
And to really get that, let's start with the metaphor we'll be using today. Think of society as running on two systems that are dangerously out of sync. You've got the hardware and you've got the software.
Okay, so the hardware, that's the actual tech, the physical capacity.
Yes. The hardware is the raw power. It's CRISPR, it's advanced cloning, nanotech. It's the ability to literally make or remake life itself.
Yeah.
That engine is going at like Formula One speed.
And if the biotech is the engine, the hardware, then the software has to be the operating system.
It is. It's the thing that tells the engine what to do, and maybe more importantly, what not to do. It's our moral codes, our ethics, the stories we tell ourselves about being human.
So that's the core problem then. That's the biological debt. We're creating this phenomenal, unbelievably advanced biological hardware.
The fastest engine in history.
But our moral software is running on a totally outdated system.
Yeah.
It's trying to make 21st century decisions with 19th century ethics.
And that leads to a catastrophic compatibility crash.
Let's start with the hardware, because, the breakthroughs are just undeniable. The sources we have show that the public isn't actually afraid of the tech itself.
No, not at all. People are quite aware and surprisingly optimistic, and this is a huge, but only for very specific things.
Right. They're highly supportive when you talk about using it for therapeutic applications.
Exactly. So gene editing to cure a life-threatening illness or to, say, reduce the risk of a known disease, that's seen as good.
And the approval rates there are huge, right? Something like 65 to 87%.
They are. People see it as a tool for healing, for restoring life. It's a medical tool, not a creative one.
And that's where the public draws a very clear line in the sand.
A very clear line. Healing is good. Enhancement is not. That distinction is absolutely vital.
But is it really that hard a line? People get cosmetic surgery, they use performance-enhancing drugs. We already blur those lines all the time.
That is a great question. But the data suggests that when we talk about genetic enhancement, so changing genes to boost IQ or for looks or athletics, skill approval just plummets.
Down to what, like 25%?
Around 25 to 44%. It shows the public sees a fundamental difference between fixing a bug in the system and trying to rewrite the entire program. They are deeply suspicious of remaking human nature.
And that fear of remaking is what has driven the whole fields of bioethics, hasn't it? You mentioned it's gone through 3 distinct phases.
Yeah, it's a really clean progression that just mirrors our technology. So bioethics 1 was all about taking life.
Abortion, euthanasia, that kind of thing.
Right. Then bioethics 2 pivoted to making life. That's when IVF came along, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. We started designing kids in a way.
And now
we're in bioethics 3. And this is where the hardware really breaks the old software. This is the era of faking life.
Faking life, what do you mean?
It's the integration of nanotech, cybernetics, the power to not just manipulate, but to enhance and maybe even supplant biological human nature entirely. It's the moment we stop fixing and start designing.
That idea of designing or faking life brings us straight to the cultural software that's just struggling to keep up.
It is.
When we talk about this stuff, we always fall back on the old way of thinking, right? The warning mode.
Mm-hmm. Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly. It's just a cautionary tale about playing God. The focus is always on the creepy lab, the mad scientist.
And that warning mode is just not enough anymore. It misses the bigger picture. It misses the systemic economic failure behind it all.
So that's why we need to pivot.
We have to pivot to the new hypothesis, to the mirror mode.
The mirror mode. Okay, so what is it reflecting back at us?
It's reflecting the real mechanism of biological debt. These stories, they aren't just warnings. They are a stress test for our values.
A stress test?
Yeah, they measure exactly how much of our humanity, our personhood, we're willing to trade for progress. The debt is what happens when we sacrifice dignity for some kind of utilitarian game.
all driven by this logic of growth at any cost.
Exactly. It's incredibly dangerous.
It feels like we're building this amazing machine that can cure disease and let us live longer. But we have no idea how to steer it.
That's it. That's the car analogy. Think of it this way. We are building a Formula One race car. That's progress, right? Curing disease, living longer, it's all about speed.
Yep.
But while we're obsessing over the engine, we are actively stripping out the brakes and the steering wheel.
Which are our ethics, our sense of personhood.
Yes. And what happens when you hit 200 miles an hour with no steering and no brakes?
You don't just crash the car.
You destroy the driver. The very thing that was meant to benefit us ends up, well, abolishing us.
So let's make this real. Let's apply this mirror mode to a specific data point. How about Kazuo Ishiguro's novel, Never Let Me Go?
Perfect example.
It's this beautiful, tragic story, but if we treat it as data, what does it actually tell us?
It's so revealing because it doesn't waste time on the creepiness of the lab. It gets straight to the point. It shows the process of commodified personhood.
Right, under the guise of care and benevolence.
Exactly. The characters, Kathy, Tommy, Ruth, they're raised in this idyllic school, Hailsham, only to find out their entire purpose is organ donation.
They are literally human beings whose only value is their biological utility.
And the literary analysis of the book confirms this. It describes Hailsham as a corporate apparatus. Its whole job is to normalize this commodification of bodies, to even make it seem beautiful.
So organ harvesting in the book isn't some sci-fi horror. It's the logical endpoint of what the source called biocapitalism.
The normalized endpoint. Prioritizing economic productivity, the organs, the cures over any ethical thought for the donor.
Wait, so the real horror of Never Let Me Go isn't mad scientists?
Yeah.
It's just logical economics.
That's the mirror it holds up. It reflects the consumer biocapitalist culture we're already in. And C.S. Lewis saw this coming decades ago. He warned that man's power over nature turns out to be a power exercised by some men over other men with nature as its instrument.
That completely reframes it. It's not a scientific problem, it's a political one. It's about what one group of people can do to another group, using technology as the weapon.
And that is the engine of the intergenerational debt. Lewis was saying that our genetic decisions have a much higher significance than just economic debt. They fundamentally change future generations.
He said the end result would be the abolition of man.
The abolition of man.
What does that even look like today? Is it just a world where the genetically enhanced become a new ruling class?
That's a very real danger. It means we stop being one species with intrinsic value and become a product, something made. And if you're a product, you're valued by the market. You can become disposable.
And that idea of being disposable brings us back to our other analogy, the computer analogy.
Right. So the computer analogy says that this biological debt is like a corrupted file deep in society's operating system.
Okay.
We're trying to run this amazing new program, immortality, enhancement, whatever, but the system starts to glitch. Because to make it all work, to justify the cost, it has to start reading human beings as temp files.
As disposable data.
Instead of permanent protected users.
And you can see that exact fear playing out in real-world attitudes about data privacy. People get it. They know their health data. The blueprint of their hardware could be used against them.
The trust crisis maps perfectly onto this. The data is clear. People are willing to trust doctors, academic researchers. But ask them about commercial companies.
That's where it falls apart.
Trust levels for pharmaceutical and insurance companies are at rock bottom.
Which makes total sense. The fear is that the commercial engine, the same one that drove Hailsham, is the least trustworthy group to hold the keys to our biology.
They'll always pick profit over personhood. And this is the tension, the mirror mode stress tests. People are willing to share data for the greater good. About 68% agreed that beneficial research is more important than privacy.
So they'll sacrifice for humanity.
But not for the shareholders. That's the conflict.
So what happens when the public sees this? This train moving forward without any ethical steering? Do they just watch the debt pile up?
Not at all. And this is fascinating. The research shows these dystopian stories don't just make people anxious, they actually increase the willingness to justify radical political action.
So people are ready to fight back.
It shows the cultural software is registering the corruption. It's preparing for a system reboot if the cost to our humanity gets too high.
Okay, let's try to bring this all together. The real deep dive here isn't just about being amazed by the science.
No.
It's realizing the technology, the hardware, is only as safe as the stories and the morals, the software that we use to run it. And if we ignore the stories, we're just ignoring the ethical debt we're racking up.
And the public already gets it. The polls show that people fully expect gene editing to just increase inequality, to only be available for the wealthy.
Right.
And that leaves a final provocative thought for you to explore. If we say these technologies are for the good of humanity, how do we regulate them if humanity becomes defined by who can afford the premium life?
That is the ultimate debt we have to confront. And this whole framework we've been using analyzing biological debt through the hardware and software of society, it comes from the insights developed by the Varia1 platform.
You can explore their full hypothesis and that crucial link between fiction and bioethics on their website.
If you found this insight valuable, please give us a rating and a review. It helps us bring more science to you. Catch you in the next deep dive.